night at the Winnipeg Art Gallery, starting at 8 o'clock, Winnipeg's Groundswell will present its fourth concert of this 2019-2020 season. This concert features the American cellist Nick Photinos, who is a founding member and co-artistic director of the four-time Grammy Award-winning ensemble Eighth Blackbird. He has performed with a wide variety of artists from across diverse genres of music, including performances with Bjork and the rock band Wilco. Nick Photinos will be joined by Winnipeg cellist Mina Rose Chung, as well as the C-String Cello Ensemble, in performances of works by Arvo Pärt, Steve Reich, Michael Gordon, and others. Joining me here in the Classic 107 studios is Nick Photinos, as well as the curator of tomorrow night's concert, Gord Fitzell. Welcome to our Classic 107 studios.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. I want to start first with you, Gord. How did you first come in contact with Nick, and how did this concert come about?
Well, related, but maybe two different things. I have certainly been aware of Nick's musical splendor and greatness for many years. We met originally back in 1998 when we were both attending the Norfolk Chamber Music Festival in Connecticut. So we can talk a bit more about that perhaps. But the latter part of your question, where did this concert come from? I would say the starting point was the CD that Nick put out about a year and a half ago?
2 years ago,
2 years ago. Petit Artefact. Knowing Nick as I do, I've had the good fortune to hear him play with Eighth Blackbird many times. And such a fabulous player, nuance, sophistication, power, integrity. So it's going to be a thrill to hear him play tomorrow night. And when I heard the disc, I knew that was something that I wanted to share with Winnipeg audiences. Of course, because of the caliber of the playing, but also because I know Nick is very conscientious about commissioning certain composers, selecting certain pieces that he might come across, and building this show to be really a reflection of his own aesthetic vision. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the genesis of it, I would say.
And so you just sort of let Nick sort of program his own program, like as far as the Reich and the Pärt, or was there some collaboration between the two of you when it came to the actual program?
There was. I mean, actually, Gordon did suggest doing the Reich, which I was happy to do. I've performed it many times, but I actually haven't come back to it in about 2 or 3 years. So it was nice to kind of revisit that piece. And then also working with Mina as well, and finding, a piece that I could do with her, this piece by Yoav Shemesh, that's really fun and wild that we just soundtracked right before we came here.
It's fabulous.
And then, but also with her students as well, doing some 8 cello pieces by Arvo Pärt and also by Matt Frey, who's a New York composer.
Wow. Gord, the concert takes place at the Winnipeg Art Gallery. Where exactly in the Art Gallery is it going to take place?
As soon as you walk in the main doors of the WAG, it's just to the right. There's a lovely Richardson Auditorium.
Richardson Auditorium.
Just to the right when you walk in.
Yeah. And the reason why I ask is I have seen concerts there where they've done different, they've gone where the concert has been in a different part of the gallery, and it's made for a really effective concert setting.
Yeah, they have a number of spaces that can be used for concerts. It's true.
But this one's at the Richardson Auditorium.
It is, although we're going to inhabit it in an interesting way for a few pieces, though. We don't want to give too much away, but there will be some spatiality involved.
Spatiality and videos for a number of the works as well.
Oh, wow. So it's sort of a multimedia thing as well.
Absolutely.
Nick, I want to turn it over to you. First of all, how did you get involved in playing new music for cello?
Sure. So I've been a member of Eighth Blackbird now for 23 years, and that's our specialty is the music of today that's being written. And it's, even though before that, I always had an affinity in so many ways for new music and working with composers. There's a freedom to it that I find, as opposed to working on music from the canon, which I still love dearly. But, the chance to work with a composer and to bring something to life for the first time is something that's really exciting and really liberating for me, and something I enjoy immensely. And so, and I think this concert is really reflective of works that I think a lot of times people get really scared off by, like, oh, am I going to like it? I don't know what this is. Right. This concert is going to be fun. I mean, like, there's just a lot of like laugh. I mean, like, even I expect fully the audience to laugh out loud in several of the pieces.
There's literally laughing in one of the audio
There
tracks.
is literally laughing in one of the audio tracks. And so, like, I want people to have a good time. I'm doing this not as a prescriptive thing, but like I want to share my love for this music that's just happens to be really fun and really beautiful. And
Nice. I'm just excited that you're doing the Steve Reich cello counterpoint. Can you talk about that piece?
Sure.
And how that works? For listeners out there, it's really amazing.
Yeah, it's so it's a piece called Cello Counterpoint, and he has a number of works for solo instrument and backing track, but in a way it's kind of for multi instruments as well. So he has New York Counterpoint and Vermont Counterpoint, and a number of these works.
Electric counterpoint.
An electric counterpoint.
Yeah.
And so this one was written in 2007 for the cellist Maya Beiser. And it really, it's very typical of his works. It's a really strong driving rhythmic piece for the first and the third movements of it. And then the second movement has this still kind of contrapuntal, but really beautiful kind of soul-searching melody in it that's really kind of offset by these really more athletic driving outer movements. So it's a beautiful piece.
I'm familiar with Reich's New York counterpoint as a clarinetist. Is the cello counterpoint the same, where it's sort of these cello loops accompanying you, or?
Yeah, so it's so you can actually do it in a version for 8 cellos. It's really difficult to do that. He actually even prefers it just like that. But yeah, it is kind of, there is the sound and like the sense of looping. It's not quite the same as that one, which has kind of more like long lines and like these figures that kind of ebb and flow out.
Right.
This has a little bit of it, but it's really much more about the counterpoint of it. So it's really, pretty rhythmic and athletic in that way. Whereas like I feel like the clarinet one has a little more ebb and flow.
Yes, yeah. I was doing some reading about this composer who calls himself Jacob TV.
Yeah.
He's been described as the Andy Warhol of new music. I love that quote. And he started as a rock musician. Can you talk about his music and the piece that you're going to be playing tomorrow night by him?
Sure. So the piece I'm playing tomorrow is called Ta 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 Ta. And it's really just this very short recording that he took of this old man telling a story to a child, and really just this snippet of ta 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 that was supposed to be like a military rhythm. And what Jacob TV does, and this is actually now a piece from the early 2000s when this technique was harder, but he really time stretched it out. So at the beginning it almost sounds drunken, that you hear these ta ta, and at the end it's like ta ta. It's like super fast and quick, and it's just really inventive, and that's definitely his style of writing too. He has some amazing works. I highly recommend checking out. There's a piece for piano and backing track called "The Body of Your Dreams" that's taken from all these infomercials.
Oh wow!
It's a blast. Like he takes a lot of influence from pop music, and actually he's a big influence on one of the other composers on the concert, Florent Gis, who is incredibly influenced by that, and also has one of the works on that. It's a 6-movement piece. One of them is an Iranian weather forecast, and it's me basically using the intonation of the voice from that to create this really beautiful texture.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
it sounds amazing. You were also playing selections from your recording. Just want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Petit Artefact. On tomorrow night, I was on your website, and there are these great little videos that you've used to accompany the music. It's a little bit like a rock video.
Right.
And I was watching them this afternoon, and they're just great. Can you talk about the project Petit Artefact and the pieces that you're going to be playing tomorrow night?
Sure. So that piece that you're referring to is actually the namesake of the album, which is this piece by Florent Gis called Petit Artefact. And so some of those videos, one, he took this video of Pong and kind of orchestrated it for cello and like 8-bit electronics to sound within that world. There was another one that is just flowers and it's looping. So there's all sorts of and he makes all of those videos himself. He either finds them or alters them to make those happen. I will say the other works that I'm doing, so I'm playing a concert also tomorrow afternoon at the University of Manitoba. And actually on that concert are more of the works from the album. This concert ended up being because of just different aspects of the programming and what I thought would work well programmatically ended up being other works I know. And actually,
Right.
the Jacob TV, for example, was supposed to be on the album, but ended up not being on the album. But you'll get to hear it anyway. So it was a different sort of, in combining the 8 cello pieces and then the 2 cello piece. I'm also doing a piece by the flutist in Eighth Blackbird, Nathalie Joachim. This piece called Damwagno that's Haitian for These Are My Ladies. And it's kind of backing tracks that she recorded in her native Haiti of, the women in her life and also her singing. She's a fantastic singer. She's actually up for a Grammy for a project that's somewhat related to this piece this year. So she's a fantastic composer. Yeah.
Wow. It just sounds like an absolutely fascinating concert. I just want to thank you both so much for stopping by our Classic 107 studios and talking to us today. This is going to be a great, great concert tomorrow night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
If you want to see this concert tomorrow night, it takes place at the Winnipeg Art Gallery at 8 p.m., and it is sure to be just a fantastic concert. You will definitely hear the cello in all its many facets and sound possibilities. We're going to end with a piece that you will hear tomorrow night. This is Arvo Pärt's Fratris for 8 cellos. It's performed by E. Fiammingi.